In today's video, I am going to be talking about Team USA and why I think they might have some issues at the Olympics this year. So this is obviously a totally different team than we've seen in the past. We see no real centers. And what I mean by a real center is somebody who can go back to the basket and bang with somebody who's 7'2" and about 260 pounds. So for example, we have Bam Adebayo, who is a center, but he's not a banging center as we would see in the past. We see Kevin Durant, who's not a center, but he is a big man. We see players like Kevin Love, who is a big man, but he's not a center. So this is why Team Canada lost. They did not have a real center. However, the Team USA also doesn't have a real center either. Now you're probably saying, well, the centers are a thing of the past. Why do we care? Well, guess what? Centers have a massive role when it comes to FIBA. FIBA is a lot more of an aggressive style of basketball. Picture like late 90s basketball. A lot more aggressive, a lot fewer calls, and when they are calls, it's usually small ticky-tack fouls just to get level with a player. So what's going to go on in the Olympics? I personally think that Team USA could have an issue. Let's get down, let's check out the team. So this first clip right here is why I say that we don't have, or the United States doesn't have, a big banging center. Here we have two players who are trying to guard Bam Adebayo. Of course, he can finish with a dunk. That is great. But what Bam Adebayo needs to do when he receives this pass, he needs to go straight up. He needs to be able to catch that without dropping it at first. But he needs to go straight up. He needs to go straight up strong. He needs to dunk it the first time. If not, he's going to have troubles against bigger, stronger teams than Nigeria. And then when it comes to the defensive end, when we see it down here, this is good. This is great. We cut off the lane. However, guess what? The world can now shoot threes. This is what Canada has been trying to push, is shooting, because they see the benefit of the three-point shot. The world has seen that, and the whole world can shoot threes now. Now here we have a screen for Kevin Durant. Now Kevin Durant can get that ball, and he can score on pretty much anybody. But how long is he going to be able to score when there's defenses playing like this? How long is he going to be able to score in a tournament when there's two players, let's say for example on Spain, who are bigger than him and are not going to try to go for the block, but instead looking to go for the body and the block at the same time? Also on the defensive end, we see a drive to the basket. There's basically a wide open lane the USA just gave to Nigeria. We have Kevin Durant on the weak side, not playing help defense. He should be farther down in this key, or at least this player should be at least hedging of some kind, something. But instead, just basically gave a wide open layup, no defense at all. They need to be more aggressive on the defensive end, and they need to be able to push the ball harder at the rim. However, there is one factor, and that is the fact that the Team USA has an absolute ridiculous amount of three-point shooters. They have players like Damian Lillard, who can basically spot up from half court and drain threes all game long. Now this is what I mean by more aggressive style defenses. The player goes for the block, gets the block on Damian Lillard, and then has a little bit of a fight to try and get to the ball. Then Damian Lillard gets it back, which is good, but now look, double teamed, closing off the passing lanes. Really the only thing that's happening is a pass out to this side where there's no USA player. However, Damian Lillard did get to score here, but he had no passing lanes. These two players were covering that side. He was covering this guy. There was nothing. All Lillard had was a layup on a double team along the baseline. By the way, the world has become more aggressive. They've become a lot better defenders. This is Caleb Agata right here, playing absolutely fantastic defense, amazing foot speed, and again forcing that air ball. Now, of course, we did have some great offensive rebounding in this game, but guess what? There's some nice, I like seeing this. I like seeing Jason Tatum taking his defender to the post. This is what you need to do in FIBA basketball. You find that there's a weakness you see that there's a mismatch. You need to take advantage of that getting to the rim, because what's going to happen is that player is going to be more aggressive than you, and guess what? If you take that three, he's not going to let you get away with it. You need to use that mismatch and take him into the post. If Jason Tatum can do that, you're going to see a massive blowout every single game by Team USA. But without Jason Tatum and other bigger, like Kevin Durant, players from the United States, you're not going to be seeing many wins. Now, a drive like we're going to see here, what we're going to see is a drive by Caleb Agata, and what you're going to see is the fact that you need to be more aggressive. You cannot let a player like that get to the rim. He is a very strong player. I used to train him, or teach him basketball at the Y when I was younger, but guess what? He can get to the rim easily because you were not an aggressive enough defender. Now, this is something that Team USA needs to continue to do. Get that ball, get it into the paint, collapse the defense, because that's what's going to happen against any team in FIBA. In World Basketball, this is what you need to do. Get that ball into the paint, especially if the other team is running a zone. Kick it out for a three. This is easy basketball. FIBA uses a lot of zones. World Basketball uses a lot of zones. Get that ball into the paint, simple kick. You have a team that is built from three-point shooters. Get the ball in the paint, kick it out, three, next possession. Run a 5-7 second offense, whatever you want to run. I would run a 7-second offense every single time. Get the ball into the high post, kick it, three, nothing, collapse, get the offensive rebound, kick it again, three, keep on running that through. It'll be successful, believe me. Team USA could win. They could go undefeated through the whole entire Olympic tournament. But guess what? If they don't do these things, they're not going to be successful. I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I really do hope that Team USA does well in the Olympics, but at the same time, it does kind of look scary. There's no real center. We don't have anybody who can really take over a game when the other team is playing aggressively. We don't have a Steph Curry who can basically dribble through like 6 trillion people and somehow get a shot off. And we don't have a LeBron James who can just say, okay, it's my turn, I'm going to get to the basket, and nobody's going to be able to get in front of me, and if they do, they're going to end up 4 rows into the crowd. So there is no real player who can bang with the big guys. So because of that, I think that Team USA is going to have some issues. Bam Adebayo is a great center, but he's not a back-to-the-basket banging style center. Bradley Beal can score. Devin Booker can score. Kevin Durant can score. Jeremiah Grant, he can score, but like he's not an all-star. We have Draymond Green who can bang with players, but he's not a big guy who can take on a 7-footer who's like 270 pounds or so. We have Drew Holiday who can score. Zach LaVine who can score. Damian Lillard who can score. Kevin Love who can sort of score. He's more on the experience side. Chris Middleton who can score. Jason Tatum who can score. We have players who can score. We have Draymond Green who can play defense. But I just don't think that there is a strong defensive presence there other than being Draymond Green. And I really don't see somebody who can take over if there's an aggressive team playing defense. United States can easily score 140 points a game with this roster, but can they against an aggressive defense? That's the question. Anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.